Hey everybody, so let's talk about giants for a minute. Um, After Samuel showed up the other day, I had some questions come in about where they live and the hills and this sort of thing. So I'll give you some information of what I know, have experienced, and feel. Obviously, it's not the entire truth because giants, we take basically anything that's really big and call it a giant. Um, so there are many types, many vibrations, dimensions, worlds, spaces, all that sort of thing. There are giants native to Earth, inner Earth, galactics, and that too. So for some of you asking, do they live in cities? Uh, Not really. They stay out of that vibration for the most part, my guides are saying. They do live near the cities. I had an experience with one where there's a doorway north of Phoenix, and one walked into the city and made sure that somebody that I was with knew that they walked all day to get into the city to get to this location. We were halfway through this event, and a giant walked into the room and sat down beside them. And but the doorway was north of Phoenix, quite a ways too, quite a long ways away. Um, those that I have been in the mountains. I have not met a ton of them. I can say that I have not met a ton of them, but for the most part, they have been in the mountains. They describe doorways and caverns that they travel through, in that they don't necessarily live on the surface, that a lot of them come to the surface and they go back down into pockets. Now, some people will know of inner earth as Agartha. They don't talk about Agartha when I talk about them. They're like that's like deeper in and a world of itself, that they actually go into pockets, is the way that it's been described to me. There are different civilizations, different types of beings living in pockets in underneath the surface of the earth, and we would describe them as caverns, but they're much more beautiful, much more elegant, much more lively than the caverns we think of. The caverns we think of are just stalactites, stalagmites, some water maybe, but just a bunch of rocks. These are not those types of caverns. These are very, very advanced forms of what we think of as caverns. Think Journey to the Center of the Earth type of thing, where the cavern is huge and there's trees and there's villages and that sort of thing. So a lot of them live in those places. Samuel mentioned he came from one of those places when he was here the other night. He kind of showed me like there's a doorway somewhere around here, and that the tunnels go underneath and kind of where they go. And then and these tunnels are known. I mean, you can find all kinds of information on the tunnels of the ancients, so to speak, and that some of them are in use today, by us, are in use today. And that's how we've come in contact with some of these beings, even though it's hidden from us. We have come in contact with some of them. They, the giants I've met are of a different vibration. You can't see them with your physical eyes for the most part. They live kind of like fairies, like on another vibrational level of the earth. They, what else? They're of, yeah, I said different spaces. Hills. Some people have asked about hills. Those are different types of giants. Some of the mountain ranges, some of the hills are in the past when they like died or laid down and their vibration shut down. You can see the forms of them in the mountains. Those aren't the same types of giants. I don't feel those are much larger giants, more like titans. Um, the ones that I'm talking about with Samuel are more the human looking. Think Game of Thrones. I forget his name on Game of Thrones, but they're like started with a W. There was a giant on Game of Thrones that was very human, just big, just very big. Um, these ones that I saw were about 3/4 the size of these trees, and I'm really bad with distance, so I have no idea how tall the trees are, but about 3/4 the size of the trees. And I haven't seen too many. They started presenting more when I came to Arizona. Actually, I think the majority have presented in Arizona that have been giants that I would classify them as, other than those that are galactic. I have met galactic giants before. I was astral traveling, going up on a ship, and I had a guide that was up there. She would always welcome me. I would enter, she would welcome me, and she would like had a thing, and she'd be like, "Okay, what are we doing today?" And I wouldn't know. She was my concierge, so to speak, and uh, would walk me around the ship to the places I was allowed to go, show me different things, explain them, all that, help me meet different beings. And there was a welcome area with a fountain in it, and a circular fountain. And then it led up to kind of like a ship observation deck. You could go watch the ships coming and going, and where they docked, and walk up to the docks and talk to the captains and the people coming off and all this other stuff. So sometimes I would go up and watch the ships, and sometimes I would just sit in the welcome area. Usually, if I was in the welcome area, I was waiting for my friend to get caught up with whatever she was doing. Like I would show up and she'd be like, "Hey, I need a few minutes," and I'd go sit down and wait. And I went down and I sat by a giant, and he was so big that his hand was the size of a dinner plate, easily the size of a dinner plate, uh, which put him at like 13, 14 feet tall, maybe bigger when I figured out the sizing compared to like using uh, ratios like my hand to me, my height, dinner plate size or bigger. He was holding a slinky, and the slinky looked tiny in his hand. The slinky looked tiny. He was really excited because one of his friends had gone down to Earth and had brought the slinky back. And he wasn't allowed to go to Earth. He wasn't allowed down to explore because he's too big and he could be physically seen. So he was really excited because he's like playing with the slinky and having fun and just waiting for the time that he can actually come down and experience the world. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I get a headache, like a super, my head starts physically in my physical body, my head starts to hurt really bad. And uh, my friend comes over, and she looks at me. She like runs down the gangway or plank, whatever it's called. It's not a stairs, but like the ramp. Runs down the ramp, and is like, oh God, come with me, come with me. And I'm like, what? And she goes, you can't be with him. You can't sit beside him. And I go, why? What's going on? Why is he like malicious? He didn't feel malicious. He felt more like a child playing with a slinky. And she goes, no. He's fine. He's fine. Your vibration is not at a space that you can handle sitting beside him with the vibration you're at. You have to tune. You have to work on getting higher because he's a higher vibration, and it's affecting your physical body. So we need to get you out of his energy. And I went, oh, okay. And it made sense. And so that's one of the things I learned. That was one that I learned really, that even the physical beings, you have to um, shift your vibration higher to be able to experience them with ease. Because a lot of the physical beings are so much higher than us that their vibration will affect our physical bodies, not just the energetic beings like the gods and goddesses and stuff, but the physical ones too. So those are some things about giants, one of my galactic encounters with them. And obviously, if there are a couple videos I posted about Samuel, you can go back to before this. And for the most part, I haven't had too many encounters, other than I know they're out there, and I've been experiencing them more. So they are definitely uh, waking up to human consciousness, I guess, or humans are waking up to them, I should say. So thank you all. If you like these videos, please consider supporting me with a mini reading, a full spirit art reading, divine counsel transmission, all those types of things. And just much love, grateful for each and every one of you.